what you're going to be watching in the next 10, 11 videos. It's going to be a series on living off-grid in winter. And we were expecting an inch and it snowed a foot last night, but it's nothing compared to what the rest of the country is going through. Hello. And so, Freedom. Freedom, you're in my shot. Good boy. So, he keeps running back inside because it's really deep. All right, I need you to move over here. So I wanted to do this intro because the reason I'm making this series is exactly what's happening to me this morning. It was supposed to be an inch and it's a foot. I want to record and edit video. I can't because I have a power shortage supply problem, because even though the sun's trying to come out, I don't have a way to generate power for my little battery. I got to make my battery last because the next few days are looking pretty bad. And so it's this constant juggling of resources, of how to put my time and energy into things, dealing with unexpected circumstances, all with the backdrop of it being cold. And if it was a grid down situation, like there was no one to help me or there was no resources to go buy, water, food, power, fuel, things like that would, I can hear someone yelling in the background, it would be a real problem. And so I've spent a lot of time this winter looking at all the different aspects. I just wanted to do this short intro for the first video. We're going to take a deep breath, and winter off-grid is a whole different ball game. Luckily, I have somebody close by in case of emergency. So I'm going to go see what his is. I'll be right back. Can you see my mess? Bless this mess. Freedom is behind me. The sun is out on the window so you can see. I'm trying to navigate in the viewfinder over here the best place. So I think this looks pretty good. I don't, but at least the lighting is kind of in an okay spot. Focusing. Deep breath. Let's try this again. Hi, my name is Jill. I am living in what I call, or on what I call, Survival Road. And I just spent the last 3 months, most of November, December, and January, with an exception of about 3.5 weeks where I was in California on the beach. Where it was warm and I had hot showers. Oh, living in the northern Arizona mountain range. I came here to learn to be off-grid. I do not recommend starting that journey in winter. But I wanted to be on someone else's property who had walked ahead of me, because I was really nervous about extreme temperatures or getting in over my head, because I'm literally not plugged into anything. You know, I didn't know my way around, that kind of stuff. So I've learned so much in these last months that I really wanted to create a series and talk about in detail the basics. Because the reality is if you can get through winter, you can get through anything. The danger zone is extreme cold. It isn't warmth or weather, it's the cold. It was really hard. You know, my background is I've been living in the dirt in a tiny trailer for almost 10 years, so without plumbing, but I did have access to electricity and water, and those were my electricity was my primary heat source and my lighting source. And so there was a lot to deal with. So what I have done is I've broken it out into 10 pieces, give or take, maybe more, maybe less, just to go over not what to do, but how I moved through all the different options and came up with what worked for me. I think the biggest danger in watching these videos is we see somebody be successful with their solar system, their heating system, all that kind of stuff. No. You have to be able to understand what is unique to your area and to your personal situation. So I want to cover it from that perspective, not telling you what you should do, but kind of how I went through this whole thing and made my decisions. The second piece, and this is the purpose of this video, these are not going to be how to survive war, collapse, catastrophe. I didn't do this because I'm afraid the lights are going to go out and will I survive? You know, my number one lesson from this was I probably won't. It's really hard. I don't think I'll probably have the energy or the strength to move through what it would take to live if the grid totally went down for a long period of time, especially in winter. The other thing that I learned, this is the other big two aha, and people will probably get mad at me for saying this. Nobody's living off grid. What people are doing is they're unplugged but still domesticated. The number one thing that I've witnessed, what everybody's does, is they're basically recreating their on-grid lifestyle with an off-grid setup. But here's the clincher. The only reason you can be off-grid is because other people are on-grid producing what you need, power, parts, solar parts, batteries, gas, propane, water, all this stuff that you need to bring into your off-grid lifestyle. Now there's going to be exceptions, but the majority of people and the ability to live off-grid really is built around this idea that you have to have access to all the things that recreate that on-grid lifestyle. So I wasn't interested in that, and here's the other reason why I wanted to do it. So this was my reason, and my reason is, and this is why I'm changing the tones of my videos, and I in the past have talked about what's called primal human training. I believe the human body, the blueprint and the design, that we're meant to be healthy, happy, productive, and functional. But most of humanity is dying from what I call domestication. That's my die wild. The closer you get to a wild, undomestic state, the healthier and the happier you're going to be. Domestication does not mean civilized or civilization. It means that we've built in this domesticated process that is killing us. And I think, as you know, I've lived with cows and livestock. You take a cow, which is domesticated, and you put it in the wild, it will die. It can't take care of itself. If you take a dog and you let it loose, it will probably survive. It will find a pack, it will hunt, it will probably be okay. We're more like the dog in this scenario. We have potential to be able to survive, but depending on how old you are, how much chronic disease, how much toxicity, how many things are going wrong with you, it's going to greatly impact your ability to fully go undomesticated. So I'm not doing this because I'm suffering under the delusions that I'm going to create what I'm calling my Jeremiah Johnson life.
You've come far, pilgrim.
Feels like far.
The reason I bring that up is that was sort of the inspiration for me, was the ability to just walk away, and could I survive with just what I can carry? And that's sort of been an ongoing theme when you hear me talk about just walk away, and we'll be coming back to that, down the road. But my answer is no. But two, how much can I recreate to restore as much of my health and sanity as possible? So that was really my goal, to understand what off-grid life actually means, how to move further into this living in the dirt lifestyle that I've created. And the biggest reason I do this is because the further I get into understanding how the human body and brain is designed, the more I understand how we are built to live more outside. So all this survival stuff for me is about health and sanity so I can function as a human being. And it's not going to be 100%, but I'm not going to quit trying. So this series is going to cover things like heat, power, resources, socialization, communication, internet, being clean, hygiene, food preservation, and I think maybe one or two other things. We'll see how it goes. Or you can leave comments about things that questions you've got. But I wanted to do this intro because I wanted to be super clear. My off-grid experience was not about just surviving something bad. For me, it was about saving and is about saving my life because I truly believe that humanity is dying from the disease of domestication, not lack of information. So that's what we're going to be diving into. Again, I don't know how quickly we'll put all these up, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. If you're interested in that, I hope you'll subscribe. You're also going to see other videos about telling more about my story and about what I think's coming next and what we collectively can really do to facilitate building what's new and next versus this idea about going back to what was before. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm looking forward. I hope you will too. We're going to take a deep breath, and I will see you next time.